Next on Worcester News tonight, dramatic fight video shows a violent brawl inside the Auburn Mall. More from witnesses and what they're saying. Plus, we'll show you how residents are preparing for the first snowstorm of the year right here in central Massachusetts. Thank you for joining us. I'm Catherine Andrioli. We are now seeing eyewitness video of a violent fight between several women at the Auburn Mall. It all happened Wednesday night. The fight involving several women sent one person to the hospital. As you can see, it was a nasty brawl. One woman suffered an asthma attack, and as you can see, bypassers looking on as a fight breaks out between the two women before a police officer intervened. The eyewitness who shared this video with us says he commends the officer's prompt action and says the officer did his best to break up the fight. Now, Mass Live is reporting the fight may have been over an ex-boyfriend, and the two women were arrested. A declared winter parking ban will go into effect tonight in the city of Worcester. The ban officially goes into effect at 10 o'clock tonight. It prohibits cars from parking on either side of the main streets. The city announced the ban Friday before heavy snow is set to move into the area overnight. Worcester's DPW Commission is already prepared for the wintry weather with large piles of sand and plows lined up ready to combat the snow. And you can expect a winter parking ban to go into effect in the city of Worcester whenever inclement weather is in the forecast. And the first major snowstorm of the year is set to hit central Mass this weekend, and now many people are stocked up on supplies and got ready for the snow and ice. Today at a local hardware store, people picked up salt bags and shovels at Jed's Hardware in Holden, many preparing for the wintry weather conditions headed into the weekend. Employees said at the hardware store say January is usually their busiest time of the year for winter weather inventory, but the recent drop in temperatures have caused a higher demand for salt, ice pellets, and other winter weather supplies.
Surprised about the most. I mean, every now and then you get a snowstorm, but yeah, it does seem to be pretty early this year. Usually it's after Christmas. Salt, shovels out front, all different types of salt, calcium chloride, the pet safe salt, it's very popular this year, going through a lot of it.
And the festive holiday decorations are very popular this month. And in central Massachusetts, one light display continues to bring thousands to the area, even on a cold night like tonight. Frigid temperatures did not stop anyone from going to the Tower Hill Botanic Garden. Our Andy Madison has a look at the popular winter Weatherland experience.
Season for Christmas lights. And at Tower Hill Botanic Garden, they're everywhere.
We light up the gardens, and they're lit inside and out, so in the conservatories and throughout the core gardens.
It's called Winter Reimagined, featuring Christmas trees, Christmas lights, decorative ornaments, and plenty of Christmas cheer.
There's a bunch of fake trees with love notes and Christmas wishes and nice homemade ornaments that I really like, so that would be my favorite.
There are 4 different lights displays, both indoors and outside.
Sort of a magical way to see, experience winter, experience the gardens.
Bringing thousands to the area, especially on the weekends. Even on a cold Friday night, families pack the garden to look at the lights.
I thought people would cancel because of the weather, but
people are loving it,
here,
so yeah.
On display through Christmas and into January, Tower Hill has taken new measures to accommodate the large crowds.
We had to begin to find a way to control the crowds. We had a lot of backups in parking and so forth, so we've instituted ticketing. We sell about 1,100 tickets a night.
The closer to Christmas, the more popular the lights are. Tonight, tickets were sold out. A good sign for Tower Hill to get people to come back in the future.
we really like it. There's a lot to see. There's a lot more than we thought.
While establishing itself as the perfect setting for holiday cheer in December. Andy Madison, Worcester News Tonight.
Central Massachusetts saw the temperatures in the teens across the area today, and the wind chill making the day even colder, prompting action from the city of Worcester to set up warming stations and shelters for those who could be at risk from exposure to the cold temperatures. Our Olivia Lemon has more.
On a typical day, the St. John's Food Pantry in Worcester sees about 400 people. Friday, the crowd was much larger.
Today there was probably double what I have because of the cold, and people come in here knowing they're going to have a good meal.
Supervisor Bill Riley opens the doors at 6 a.m. He says today people came rushing in to get out of the cold. With temperatures in the single digits and a wind chill making it feel even colder, Riley says he doesn't want anyone to be left out.
I push out probably a lot more food on a cold day like yesterday and today, and that way people have enough food to stay inside for the night.
A makeshift shelter was set up Thursday night across the parking lot at St. John's Church. It will be open again Friday night.
It was awesome last night. It was so awesome. We said, God, this is like a little hotel. Look, we have pillows with pillowcases.
Volunteer Donna DiMizziano says about 35 people spent the night in the church. Worcester's Quality of Life Task Force is reaching out to the homeless community to let them know these sites are set up.
It is very important because people could die out there.
Worcester also had warming stations set up throughout the day Friday at places like the Senior Center and the main branch of the public library.
It's a good thing that we do have these things out in Worcester to help us.
So having a place to come here where you can get a cup of coffee, you know what I'm saying, a hot meal, okay, it's a blessing.
Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
And the Worcester Oval Ice Rink was forced to close down today due to the freezing cold temperatures. Today, the wind chill was making it even colder here in Worcester. And you may remember earlier this month when crews were brought in to help freeze the rink over after warm weather almost forced the rink to close down. Today, they had the opposite problem with freezing temperatures keeping skaters off the ice. The Oval will reopen tomorrow at noon. A former Auburn high school student is facing charges after police say he threatened to shoot people at the high school on Thursday. The threats were made via the social media app Snapchat. The teen faced a judge today, and police say he is already well known at the department. Our Rosalind Flaherty spoke to Auburn police and has more.
Shocked to hear about what happened. I think it's unacceptable.
18-year-old Marcus Rodriguez was arraigned Friday morning in Worcester District Court. Police say he posted videos on Snapchat threatening to shoot people at Auburn High School.
He was generally making threats to use a firearm and to go down and kill people at the high school.
According to court documents, Rodriguez is facing a number of charges, including bomb hijack threat with serious public alarm, disorderly conduct, and threat to commit a crime. Auburn Police Sergeant Scott Mills says around 8 a.m. Thursday morning, they were notified of the former student posting videos.
It was a soft lockdown while we could investigate it.
Police arrested Rodriguez at his home in Auburn.
At the time of his arrest, no weapons were located.
Police say everyone at the school was safe and no one was ever in any danger.
Until you can dispel, until you can absolutely determine true or false, then you have to take it seriously.
This is not Rodriguez's first run-in with police. Police say he was arrested earlier this week for a motor vehicle violation, and in May, Auburn police say caused a disturbance in the department's lobby after making comments celebrating the murder of Officer Ronald Tarantino Jr.
There needs to be severe consequences when you make decisions like that, and unfortunately, when you're threatening people with grave bodily harm, you need to be punished.
Knowing that my son could possibly be going to Auburn school scares me, knowing that would happen in a town like this.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
The U.S. Marshals Fugitive of the Week is in custody after being arrested here in Worcester. Megan Cullen was wanted for parole violations. She was on parole for burglary and disposing of a gun in Concord, New Hampshire. After several tips, investigators were able to track her down. And Millbury firefighters are investigating a house fire from earlier today. Crews were called to this home on Millbury Avenue around noon Friday after an off-duty firefighter noticed smoke coming out of the house. No one was home at the time of the fire. Firefighters were able to keep the fire from spreading to the attic. The fire caused extensive damage inside. The chief says fighting the fire was a little difficult because of the cold temperatures.
On the ground, it was hard to maneuver around, but fortunately they were really careful. It slows it down, but they were careful enough for themselves.
And no injuries were reported, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation.